Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, I am Silver Shepherd and I talk about anything and everything gold and silver related. And gold has been absolutely exploding this past year to date. However, it's cooled off a bit recently and the price is now below $5,000 again at about $4,567 an ounce. And this is still a lot higher than most people expected to see this quickly. And because of that, a lot of newer stackers are starting to ask some of the same questions as before. Is gold even worth buying anymore? And more specifically, should I be buying fractional gold instead of full ounces? Because let's be real, dropping over $4,500 on a single coin just is not realistic for most people. However, a 1/4 or 1/10 of an ounce coin feels way more doable due to the cheaper price. So in today's video, I want to break this down in a very real and easy to understand way. We're going to talk about the different types of gold coins you can buy, why fractional gold, especially 1/10 ounces, is so popular right now, the pros and cons, how to store gold safely, and why people stack gold in the first place, especially for retirement. So by the end of this video, hopefully you'll know whether fractional gold is actually worth it or if it's something you should avoid. So before we dive into fractional gold, let's talk about the main types of gold coins you'll see, because not all gold is the same, at least how it's sold. So first up, we have 1 ounce gold coins, and this is the standard. When people think of gold stacking, they usually think of coins like the American Gold Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, and Gold Buffaloes, and these are all 1 ounce coins. Right now you're looking at roughly $4,600 plus per coin depending on premiums. And these are the most efficient way to buy gold in terms of price per ounce. Lower premiums, easier to store value in a compact way. But again, the barrier to entry is very high on these. Next up, we have 1/2 ounce gold coins, and these are exactly what they sound like. They're 1/2 ounce of gold. They're a little easier to afford, but they're still very expensive. You're probably paying somewhere around $2,300 to $2,500 depending on premiums. And they're not super common for beginners, but they're still a solid option. Next up, we have 1/4 ounce gold coin. And now we're getting more into the accessible territory. These usually fall between $1,100 and $1,300 per coin. A lot of stackers like these because they strike a balance between lower cost than a full ounce, but still not crazy premiums. And last but not least, we have 1/10 ounce gold coins. And this is where most people start. A 1/10 ounce coin right now will cost you about $500. And this is the most approachable way to get into gold. You'll see coins like 1/10 ounce Gold Eagles, 1/10 Maple Leafs, and Britannias. And these coins are very small, but they're still real gold. They're government backed and highly liquid. And for this video, this is what we're going to be focusing on, because for everyday people this is the easiest one and this is the entry point for most of them. But everything we'll cover today applies to all fractional gold. So now let's get into the reason why you guys clicked on this video, and let's talk about the pros. And number one is affordability, and this is the biggest one. Most people are not buying $4,500 coins regularly, but $500, that's something more realistic you can budget for. You can stack slowly. You can buy 1 coin a month, 1 coin every few months, and over time it adds up. This makes gold stacking accessible instead of just theoretical. Number two is flexibility when selling, and this is something most people don't think about enough. Let's say you own one 1 ounce coin versus 10 1/10 ounce coins. If you need to sell some gold for some quick cash, with fractional you can sell 1, 2, or even 3 coins. You can control how much you liquidate. With a full ounce, it's all or nothing. That flexibility is huge, especially in emergencies. Number three is easier for bartering, and this is a worst case scenario. And hopefully you have some silver to actually use in a bartering situation, but let's say you run out or just don't have any. And I'm not saying we're going to run into some collapse scenario, but if something ever did happen, smaller denominations make more sense. Trying to use a 1 ounce coin for a small transaction is just not practical. A 1/10 ounce coin is much more usable. And for the last pro, we have the psychological advantage, and this one is honestly kind of underrated. Buying a full ounce feels like a very big decision, but buying a 1/10 ounce coin at only $500 feels way easier. And that consistency matters more than most people think, because stacking is not about one big purchase. It's about the long-term discipline and consistency in buying. But fractional coins are not perfect. So let's talk about the cons, because this is where things start to get real and put into perspective. And the biggest con is at number one, and that's the higher premiums. And this is the biggest downside with them. You're paying more per ounce for fractional gold. So let's break this down. Gold spot price is about $4,567, and 1/10 ounce gold value is about $456. But you're paying over $500 per 1/10 ounce coin, and that's a pretty noticeable premium. The smaller the coin or smaller the ounce, the higher the premium is with these. The second one is the slower wealth accumulation. Because of those premiums, you're stacking gold less efficiently. If your goal is to accumulate the most ounces possible, fractional gold is not the best option for this. Full ounces will always win here in this situation. The third one is a real one that not many people think about, and it's the fact that they're easier to lose, because these coins are tiny. They're very easy to misplace, or if you drop, they're very easy to miss. If you're not a very organized stacker, this can become a serious issue. And the fourth and last one is the premium recovery can vary. When you sell, you might get some of the premium back, but not always all of it. It depends on market demand, who you're selling to, and the timing of when you're selling it. So you need to go in expecting that some of that premium is just the cost of entry. So now that we have talked about the pros and cons, let's talk about whether I think they are a good idea to purchase, and I think that they are. I myself have a couple 1/10 ounce coins in my stack because they are fun, they're real gold, and they give you some gold exposure without you having to spend a lot of money on one single coin. So with that being said, if they're the best you can do and keep you stacking consistently, I think they are a must-have in your stack as a beginner and experienced stacker. So now we've talked about the pros and cons and whether I think you should buy them, let's talk about something that does not get enough attention, and that's storage. Because buying gold is one thing, but keeping it safe is another. So let's start with the most common one, and that is the home safe. And this is what most people do. All you have to do is get a solid, heavy-duty safe that's fire resistant and bolted down into a concrete floor if possible. You want this to be as safe as possible, so keep it hidden and don't advertise or tell a bunch of people that you have precious metals in your house. The second thing is to diversify your storage. Some people split their stack, some at home, some in a safe deposit box, and that way you're not putting everything in one place. The third thing is to keep it organized, especially with fractional gold. Use coin tubes, small containers, and labels, because losing a 1/10 ounce coin is way easier than losing a full ounce. The fourth thing is don't tell everyone, and this one is a huge one. The fewer people that know you own gold, the better. Security isn't just physical, it's also about privacy. A quiet stack is a safe stack. Some other common locations to store your silver is a bank safety deposit box, but these are less accessible due to only being accessible during the bank's open hours. The third one is a more advanced one, and it is private vaulting services. So as a beginner, I would avoid this one, but as you get more experience, you can look into it. And for your safe, keep it in a dry environment, use silica packets to reduce moisture, and avoid handling them too much. So now let's zoom out for a second and think about why are we even doing this? Gold is not about getting rich quick. It's about preserving wealth, protecting purchasing power, and hedging against inflation and uncertainty. Over time, currencies change and economies shift, but gold has held value for thousands upon thousands of years. For retirement, gold acts like insurance. It's not replacing stocks, real estate, or businesses, but it complements them in a very good way. It's something you can hold, and especially outside of the system. When you combine gold with other assets, that's where real financial stability starts to form. So let's bring everything we've learned together. 1/10 ounce coins are affordable, flexible, and easy to start stacking, but they also come with higher premiums and slight inefficiency compared to full ounces. So are they worth it? And for most people, I would say yes, because the best gold is the gold that you can actually afford to buy consistently. At the end of the day, gold stacking is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. If you can afford full ounces, then great. That's the most efficient route. But if you're like most people and 1/10 ounce coins are what fit into your budget, then that's absolutely a solid way to build a good gold position over time. Don't let perfection stop you from getting started, because years from now, you're not going to regret owning gold, but you might regret not starting sooner. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Are you stacking fractional gold right now or waiting to buy full ounces? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.